Hey there, welcome back to the Double D Show. So as you guys just saw, this is a segment that I'm going to be calling Knowledge Breaks. So essentially what this segment is like a kind of act as a commercial. When we do get launched a little bit further down on Friday, that's when we're going to start having like fuller length episodes. They're going to be about 15-20 minutes. And the Knowledge Break episode is to act kind of like a commercial. You know, like we used to see those little cartoon shows back in the day, and they'd have like a show inside of a show that was like a commercial. That's what the Knowledge Break is. However, it's going to be defining things I either A, have not talked about on this channel, that are coming up in a following episode, or B, it's just going to be just general information and just like something random that I have learned in my spirituality that I feel like might help other people. So today for this knowledge break, we're going to be doing a few definitions, so that way you guys can get a little bit of a grasp of what I'm going to be talking about in this following episode that's going to launch later on today at 6 o'clock. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so first thing that I'm going to define for you guys today is claircognizance. Have you ever just had this feeling where you just kind of knew something, you didn't know how you knew it, but you knew it, and then a few seconds later you got confirmation that you knew it when you shared that knowledge? That is what claircognizance is. That is a psychic phenomenon in which knowledge is imparted on you without knowing the source of that knowledge, but you just know it, and because of that knowledge you're able to apply it, and it turns out that that validates that that knowledge was true. I've had instances like that since I was a little kid, but you know, right now we're just defining stuff, so I don't want to go too in depth in it, but it is going to come up in this next episode that follows. Intuition. I think everybody knows what intuition is, but I'm just going to do a blanket definition if you guys don't. Intuition is that gut feeling. You know, when you like know that you should do something or you shouldn't do something, when you're approaching something, you have a gut feeling like, yes, I have to do this. This is where I'm supposed to be. Or you have a gut feeling of, I don't know about that person. I don't know about this building. I don't know about this situation. This ain't nowhere for me. That is intuition. That is your soul, your higher self, speaking to you and guiding you through life. Now, the more you tune into that, the more you'll like be able to guide yourself a little bit better, just by creating the situations and plans for your day, and then just sort of, you know, listening to that feeling. The more you hone in on it, the sharper it becomes, to the point that you can pretty much become your own compass in life and navigate where it is that you're supposed to be. My mom has always said, listen to your intuition, it will never do you wrong, and I believe that to this day, and it still has. Law of attraction. So there's lots of different ways that we've heard about this in various different forms. If you guys have ever heard the book The Secret or the movie, that's basically what the law of attraction is. It is you focusing your energies and desires on a specific goal and working towards that goal by listening to your intuition and such. Law of attraction works in many different ways. Basically, we all use the law of attraction in our daily lives, but we may not even know it. You know, for instance, someone who tells themselves consistently, oh, my life is shit, my life is so hard, blah blah blah. Guess what, girl? That's what you attract and manifesting. You're manifesting a shitty life because that's what you're telling yourself it is. Versus someone who tells themselves, you know what? My life is great, my life is golden, XYZ is going to happen, and I'm going to do this because it's a good, positive thing. Then that's what happens in your life. The more you focus on the positives, you start attracting positives. When you focus on the negatives, you attract negatives. So all ties into your thinking, your emotions, your feelings. Again, we'll discuss in depth further down the line, but that is a huge thing for you guys to know about for this channel, period, going forward. Because now that I've actually become aware of our thoughts and how they form our days and such, my manifesting abilities and using the law of attraction has worked insanely to my benefit. Source energy. I'm not one who's particularly religious. My own personal belief on religion is that whatever God you worship, it's all the same God. God comes to you in whatever form is going to make the most sense to you at that specific time in your life. You know, before, as you guys will hear, I used to be pagan and very anti-Christian, and have come to realize that it's literally the same God. literally the same God I was praying to, except for I just was calling them under a different name. All the same results happen, all the same things happen. I just give it a different name and live a lot more of a positive life because of it. But source energy, to say, is that energy that is within all of us. A lot of religions will say, we are all made in God's image, and that is true. And being that we are made in God's image, that means that we have the power to co-create just as He would. Now, I'm not saying that you can create and be all magical and be like huzzah, Shazam, all that jazz, and create something out of nothing. But we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And once we realize that and recognize that God is in all of us, we can tap into that God energy or that source energy and then begin to utilize it to change our lives and the lives of others for the better. Now, I'll go ahead and go back and forth. Personally, like I said, I'm not one for religion. I do believe in God and a lot of other different things that a lot of other people don't. Some people will just say the universe, whatever. But to borrow a quote from a YouTuber I watch on YouTube, Jake Ducey, you can't get wet from the word water. And finally, enlightenment. You guys might hear about this a lot, specifically if you follow the Buddhist lifestyle. I would like to clarify that Buddhism is not a religion, it is a way of life. Completely. There are no Buddhist institutes, there are Buddhist temples, but it's a way of life, not a religion. And the sooner the rest of the world recognizes that, the sooner we can start sharing cultural respect and respecting people's ways of life and calling it for what it was meant to be instead of what this Western culture has turned it into. But if you know of Buddhism, then you have heard of enlightenment. And enlightenment is basically finding ways to be happy no matter what situation you're in. And that is something I myself have attained. Now, I do struggle with it every now and then because, sometimes the reality of the situation bears down on me. But the more and more that I focus internally and focus on my own happiness and spirituality, the more that I realize that there's always something in life to be happy about, even if you're in the absolute worst situation. Because best believe, it can always be worse. It can always be worse. Someone always has it worse than you. Even if you seem like you might be in the same situation, guaranteed it can be worse. There are a whole lot of other X's and Y's and Z's that can be added to that equation to make it worse. But the sooner you realize and learn how to be, hold up, my glass is crooked. The sooner you learn and recognize how to be happy through all of those circumstances and appreciate what you have, it definitely does turn your life around for the better. So that was it for today's knowledge break. I hope that you guys will stick around and stay to the kind of prologue of the show, the rest of the show rather. That's going to give you a little bit of a background about me and how I've got my spirituality, and give you guys a little bit more insight to, just who I am as a person and why I'm appearing in a somewhat mixed appearance as both feminine and masculine. We'll delve into all of that this next episode. Once again, I am your host, Denise Dontarius, and I'm out.